Hey guys, I might be a little rusty. It's been a while, 6 months, so what better way to start a new video on a new year with a pest? Today I'm going to talk to you about what I do to get rid of flatworms. They're starting to multiply on my hammer coral. So I'm going to show you a few methods I've tried. I tried one last week. It's flatworm exit. I was not successful with it at all. You put it in the tank and then they start to fall off the coral and free float, and then you have to go in and remove them. I remove them with a brine shrimp net. They're toxic when they die. You're supposed to have about 25% water change water ready to replace after you do this procedure with the exit. It was too complicated. I don't like I had to put like 20 drops of that stuff in my 20-gallon, and I noticed the flatworms started to fall off right away, but I also noticed my corals to start to shrink down, especially my mushrooms. So I wasn't a big fan of that method. I followed the direction and it didn't work for me. Some of them free floated, I removed them, and I noticed a lot of stress on my corals afterwards. Even after the water change, it took about 2 days for everything to come back. But what I noticed is that they didn't go away at all on my hammer coral. So I'm going to try a different approach today. Oh, making RO water. I think what I'll do is I'll use this cake top for my dipping container. Sylvia loves carrot cake. In my experience, this type of flatworm, the brown one, it really doesn't eat the coral, but it just causes a nuisance and keeps the coral from opening up. Because of the propagation of corals, fragments that are being passed throughout the world now, the flatworm is known to be really exploding with growth and showing up a lot in the aquarium hobby now, which sucks for me. All right, so here's the cake container. I think it'll be big enough. My guess is it's not going to be, that the top of the coral will stick out a little. But the way I'm going to dip it is kind of shake it and rotate it. I'm not going to just let it sit in there for 5 minutes. So if you look closely in this image here, you can see the flatworms are all over this. And what happens is they climb on it and they cause it to contract. They'll also reproduce really fast. So I'm going to take the coral out. I'm headed down to the new fish room, guys. Here's the new fish room, number 1. I have salt water mixed up to replace the water I'll take out to do the dip in. And I'll show you my fish room storage closet / clothes closet. All my stuff here. My big container to mix up my water for the big tank, the 75-gallon, and here's fish room number 2. When I have to do RODI, like I've said in my past videos, I mix it up in there. So if I forget, it overflows, it goes down the tub. That's it. Fish room number 2. What I'd like to do, guys, is have you determine which videos I do. I don't want to repeat things. So if you look back at almost 300 videos that I've done, I've covered a lot. So what I want you to do is maybe in the comments below, leave a description or something that you would want me to do as a video, and I'll start a list that way. Just go through what you guys want to see. All right? All right, so what you want to do is take your water out of your tank and put it into the container that you're going to do your dip in. So this fits in here. You could siphon it out if you want to, but this is quicker for me. This is about a half-gallon container or 2 liters. I'm gonna go a little more. And don't forget, I have salt water mixed up to replace this. Oh, new viewers. My wife and I have a long-distance marriage. She travels back and forth to Croatia, so she just landed in, in London. Come on. What's the London airport? Heathrow. She just landed in Heathrow Airport. She's checking in with me. I'll be right back. So I'm going right up to the top because I think my hammer coral is just barely going to fit in there. All right, so this is a 45-gram container, and it calls for 45 grams per 1 gallon or 4 liters of water. I'm going to mix half that amount because this is 2 liters roughly, and I'll mix half of this. Okay, so now I'm going in for the hammer coral, obviously being gentle. And that bottom piece there has some hair algae on it. And so here we go. Okay, so it's just barely gonna fit in there. I'd like to lay it on its side, but it's gonna stick out. So basically, I'm gonna shake it and you can see all the flatworms coming off. Probably could have used a bigger container, guys. I can see tons of flatworms on the bottom. This is a true dip here. I'm gonna take some of this hair algae off while I'm here. Like I said, guys, you know, some of you guys are gonna say this guy's a twit for not getting a big enough container, but this is all you need. I just didn't want to waste a lot of water coming out of there, and I didn't want to get a real big container that I'd have to fill a lot of water in. I'm inspecting, and this is not good lighting for that, but I'm inspecting the flatworms still on there, and they look like they're completely off. It looks like it's done a great job. I'm going back in the tank. Now keep in mind, sometimes you have to do these dips when it's this bad more than once. So this is my first try at it. I have not used this before in the past. So here we go, back in the tank. Okay, I'm replacing the salt water that I took out with fresh salt water, obviously mixed to the same temperature and salinity. And I know how much to put in because of my marks here. Those are the flatworms all over the bottom there. The hammer's back in the tank. Obviously it's super retracted, and I'll show you in a few hours what it looks like. This is about 2 hours now, guys, after the dip, and it looks good. They're about the way they were before, but you know, it's only been about 2 hours and they were completely retracted in, and obviously have to recover. So the only way I'm going to show you this is in an up and coming video, and I'll show you the results there, but this looks good. I'll get back into it, guys. You know, it was a hard 6 months, but it was hard. I had a little bit of a burnout, but like I said in my other video, my son got me back into it. These videos that I'm making now are gonna be for you guys that are still watching right now, my hardcore followers. So I appreciate all you've done over the years, guys. All right, take care again.